And today we've got just such a conversation. Who have we got with us here today, Dr. TRINH?
Good morning. We have a good friend here who I guess I've known for a few years since 360 Clinic, way during the pandemic times. We have met, and her name is Nadia, and she is very passionate about health and wellness. I follow her on Instagram, and you have YouTube as well. And I just wanted to kind of have Nadia come and share with us her kind of her journey, her story, and why she's doing what she's doing now. So welcome, Nadia.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Trin. Thank you, Paul. Very excited to be here. I was very excited when you reached out and asked if I wanted to join live on this talk. I was really looking forward to it. But yeah, so as you mentioned, I do post content on Instagram and YouTube. It is primarily health and fitness. I talk about my personal journey going from being overweight and pre-diabetic to now having lost 25 pounds. I'm feeling better than ever. And I'm just excited to share that with everyone because I'm hoping to help change lives so that other people can also get involved and just have a better and more fit lifestyle as well.
So what led you down the path to health and fitness? Why not just be pre-diabetic? Half the world is.
That's a very good question because that's true, especially here in the US. Everyone, practically any other person you pick out on the street is pre-diabetic or they are diabetic. So I would have to say it started right before I turned 21. At the time, I was in a relationship and I thought I was doing fine. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't think there was anything wrong until one day I had noticed that, okay, my at the time boyfriend was 5'10" and 170 pounds or so. Being 5'3", I was also weighing in at the same. Oh. And I was like, okay, there's something very wrong with this. Yeah. And then I went to the doctor and I took a blood test specifically for A1C, which determines if you're pre-diabetic, diabetic, and sort of those ranges. And it came back that I was pre-diabetic. And just seeing these, it kind of blew it out of proportion to me. I realized, okay, I'm really not doing as okay as I had thought I was. I definitely need to make a change. And I would have to say that in high school, I was on and off with fitness. I was on the dance team. I was going to the gym with my mom, but my diet hadn't changed. It was still a very poor diet. And I was still going to the gym, but I realized, okay, just everything needs to be swapped out. So from then on, I started doing intermittent fasting. I was going to the gym every day. I had work at 8 a.m. So I would wake up at 5:30 in the morning to be at the gym by 6 so I could get in my workout before work. And then after work, I could just meal prep and do any other things I had to do. So my birthday was in January, and then I noticed that in February and March, I was really losing weight, and I felt like I had a lot more energy, making the switch from eating poorly and going to really poor workouts at the gym. And over the course of 3 months, I lost 20 pounds, and a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And I realized that a lot of people didn't have the knowledge to get started with pursuing fitness. They would try it and then they would stop. And I realized that the best way to share this knowledge with people is to give it to them in tiny little steps. If you throw something at a person just all in itself, they're going to get overwhelmed. But when you give it to them in little bits and pieces where they can break it down, it's more digestible, they're more able to stick to that goal. And so I've definitely helped a couple of people. I've encouraged people to go to the gym. I have people messaging me on Instagram. Sometimes on my YouTube, they find my email address and I'm getting emails saying, oh my gosh, thank you for your help. You've really inspired me to go to the gym. And it's just been a really wholesome experience overall.
Wow, quite a lot there.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem, Dr. TRINH. We all have the desire to eat healthier, to be more fit, but we don't do it. Why don't we do it?
Well, it's I always tell folks that information itself is not enough.
Right.
Because information really is free. You can YouTube anything you want. If you don't want to be a diabetic, There's information out there on the internet on how not to be a diabetic, right? What to eat, what to do. There's YouTube videos. So information, if all we needed was information to change our lives, it's not enough, because despite the information out there, 2 out of 3 Americans are, overweight. 2 out of 3 Americans are um, diabetic or pre-diabetic,
Right.
based on the hemoglobin A1C numbers. So that's despite the information out there that's free. So what I tell folks is, if you really want to change and make a significant change with your life, not only do you need the information, but there's 2 other things that's missing. One is accountability.
Yes. Right.
You need accountability. And the second thing that is needed is support, personal support. Because without the accountability, without somebody giving you maybe some metrics, some guidelines and some deadlines, right? Along with the support along the side, there's no change.
Yeah.
And it's valuable that, what Nadia offers is the potential of getting that support.
Right.
And the potential of somebody going alongside you and giving you some accountability as well.
Right. And
So-
what's accountability look like? Is it just beating me up and saying, "Oh, you didn't do it today. I know, I'm tired. I'll do it tomorrow. I promise." Is it giving you some metric? Hey, you lost a pound. There you go. You lost 10 pounds. You lost 5. Is it a cheerleader, or is it a coach, or is it a some authority, somebody wagging their finger? Come on, you got to do better. You got to do this here. What does accountability look like? Because I think people are scared of accountability. They all have a dream of doing something. I don't want to be held accountable to it. Oh yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it. I know I told everybody I'm going to do this, but I'll do it tomorrow. What do you think, Nadia? What's accountability look like when you help people?
I think accountability is being able to see yourself chasing a goal. There are many ways to set up a goal. You can do short term, long term, any way you want to set it up. But within that, setting up smaller goals. And so what I like to do is encourage people to set like a daily goal. If your goal is just to get to the gym, but you don't have the energy for it, but you push through and you get there, I think that's where the best way to hold yourself accountable is. So let's say your long-term goal, I want to lose 20 pounds.
Right.
Okay, well, in order to get there, what is your smaller steps? And in that case, what is your smaller goal? How are you going to achieve that? That's going to be going to the gym every day. If you can focus on those smaller goals, that's a great way to keep yourself accountable, or by following other people on social media, which is what I was doing when I was trying to lose this weight and I just got started. Seeing them post they're at the gym just made me realize, if they can do it, I can do it. Like, there's nothing special about this. I can push myself to get outside of my comfort zone, right, and really make an impact on my life. And so I think that's the best way to be able to not just hold yourself accountable, but others as well. Another really great way, I think, would be to get a gym buddy, someone who's going to say, hey, let's go to the gym. Like, oh, I didn't want to, but you're saying I should go. Like, I don't want to seem like I'm backing out when it was my idea.
Right.
I think that's a great way.
I think that's a big part of it. What do you think, Dr. TRINH? It's got to, if you walk it with somebody, it's hard to get up and do things alone, but somehow together, one person encourages the other and keeps them honest.
Absolutely. It's why people pay for personal trainers.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I have the same personal trainer when I was in my 30s, and now I'm in my 50s.
Wow.
And it's the same guy.
Wow.
And the thing is, if he's not there waiting for me at the gym, I'll never show up to the gym.
See, even you.
That's accountability, right? That's the accountability part. And it's not like I don't know what to do at the gym. Obviously, I've been there with him for, over 15 years. I know what to do, but I don't have the accountability unless there's somebody waiting for me at the gym.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but yes.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of it. That's why we all need coaches. We all need somebody to encourage us, to show. It's a combination, it seems, of being a cheerleader and being a disciplinarian. No, come on, you got to go. It's a combination. When you work with people, Nadia, how do you get started with them? First of all, it's a big step if they call you, right?
Yes, definitely. So right now I have had a couple of people reach out with just basic questions, but what I've done is condensed all of those questions and I've formatted my own questionnaire that I ask them. I ask them, what is your end goal? Are you looking to gain weight or are you looking to lose weight? Because I think that a lot of people don't realize that health and fitness isn't just about losing weight, but for some people who are severely underweight, they need to gain it.
Wow.
And so it comes from knowing what you're aiming to achieve. And from there, when I'm asking them, I also have to ask them, body metrics, like, what's your gender or your sex, your personal sex. This a little harder one to cover. And then the goal and how much you're weighing, just these basic body metrics. And then I have to ask them, what are you looking to commit? Some people want to just get all up into it, go to the gym 6 days a week. Others say that, oh, I'm a student or I have this full-time job. I can only commit 3 or 4 days a week.
Right.
And so based off of that, you have to kind of design, or I would have to kind of design a workout plan that is going to have the most impact on them, that fits their schedule, so that if I don't want to overwhelm them. When you feel overwhelmed, the natural response is to back away and to get away from whatever is overwhelming you.
Right.
But if it's something to ease you into the gym or ease you into changing your diet, then that's the best way to go about that. So it's very personalized.
I think it is, and I think that, but it's like asking for any kind of help. The first step is you got to ask. If you can't yourself say, I have it's the old Alcoholics Anonymous thing. First thing is you have to admit you got a problem and you have to ask for help. You have to say, I need help. I can't do this myself. I have to go to a group. I have to join a gym. I have to do something that I need. I'm going to make that commitment. And then it's somebody encouraging you, holding you accountable, showing you a path to doing it. And then it becomes easier. It becomes a habit then, right? Once something becomes a habit, then it's easier to work into your routine. But there must be points when you hit something and it gets hard. And then again, it must be the urges to quit. This is too hard. This is too difficult. I can't get over this hump here. How do you get them to the next level? How do you get them to keep going?
That's a really great question, because I personally had the same issue when I was getting started. Something that I tell people that I'm working with, or what I would tell myself, is, would future Nadia be okay or feel comfortable with me giving up right now? When I was following the intermittent fasting, or right now, I recently found out I actually have a gluten sensitivity, and I see, when you go to a restaurant, the bread that they bring out, I really want it, but knowing myself, in 10 minutes, am I going to be happy with the choice I just made? And
Right.
I feel like having your own accountability, I think that's stronger than the accountability from anyone else, because that person might not necessarily be in your life. Like if it's a fitness coach, they're not in your personal life. They're not your best friend. You're not necessarily talking to them every day, but you are with yourself every day. So I think that the best person to use as your own sort of person to keep you accountable is going to be yourself. So that's why I always say, think about it. If you're saying you want to commit to eating cleaner and you see on the table there's a bowl of chips, but you also know that you have fruit in the fridge, in 10 minutes, are you going to feel good about eating that entire bowl of chips, or are you going to be proud of yourself for going for that fruit instead?
Yeah, right. So
that's the way I like to phrase it. That's what really helped me.
So there's two of you. There's the good angel and the bad angel on your thing, and which one are you going to listen to today here?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so how did you learn about how to do this stuff? I mean, you sort of self-taught here. Did you go to school? Did you take classes, or is this just a journey that you just started investigating on the internet here?
So I have to admit, I have a really fantastic mom. She got me into eating better and just general lifestyle when I was young. So Dr. TRINH knows her. They currently work together. We all worked together at 360 during the pandemic. And because of her, I was able to have a baseline knowledge of what going to the gym should look like in terms of proper form and what workouts target which muscle groups. And because of that, I was able to go to the gym and I had a couple of workouts like already written down that I knew I could do. And from there, it only grew because then I started to fall in love with it. After going to the gym became a habit, I really started to enjoy it. And so I was looking out for more workouts because sometimes when your body gets used to the repetition, it's not going to have the same effect. So I would go online and I would look at research articles, or I would follow these larger influencers who I knew had personal coaching experience, and I would look at different workouts. Sometimes there would be a workout that I'd never seen before, and then I'd go on Google and search it up and see, okay, what is this workout target? How is this going to be beneficial? What is the proper form? And so through time, I accumulated the knowledge, but really I've seen the kind of a parabolic effect in my knowledge in the past year and a half now, since I really took it all very seriously.
And is this then your new passion, your new purpose in life here, is to not just improve yourself, but to help others improve themselves?
Oh, definitely. Because while I started losing the weight and changing my lifestyle, I was like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now, I only started posting about it and creating content maybe 6 months ago now. So it's newer to me, but it's taken such an effect on my life that I wouldn't want it to be any other way. I love it when people are messaging me and say, hey, oh my gosh, you were such a big influence in my life, like encouraging me to do something that even my family members don't necessarily encourage. And it's become one of my main goals. That's why I'm pushing so hard for creating content and I'm looking to expand, because I do want this to be what I'm known for. It's like it's what I want my personal brand to be.
Okay. And where do we find this content? What's the personal brand? Where do we look this stuff up here?
So I am on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I am also on TikTok. If you search up my name, Nadia Saadatmandi, you'll find me. It's the last name is a little difficult.
Yeah.
But Nadia, and then you type in SAA, I should pop up.
And let's spell it for those who are spelling challenged like me here. How do we spell your last name here?
All right, it's a little bit long, so get ready for this. It's 11 letters: SAADATMANDI. So It is a little bit of a longer last name, but if you type in Nadia and then that last name, I'll pop right up.
And what ethnicity is, what's the background of Saadatmandi here? Is that Indian or is that?
I'm Persian, so I come from Iran. My family comes from Iran.
Persian, okay. Yeah. All right.
That's why I like how your cat just fell off the.
I was going to say, yeah,
amazing.
We're trying to watch you, and your cat is dancing behind you here or something. You know, he's stealing the show.
That was amazing. Yes.
You said you called. Yeah, she's young. She's definitely a troublemaker.
What's her name?
Her name is Nala.
Nala. Okay. And what does Nala mean? It must mean something here.
I actually don't know what it means. I just really like the name. I think it's from that Disney movie with the lions.
Oh,
Lion King?
Lion King. Yeah, I think the female lion, her name is Nala. And I was like, she's got the same personality. She thinks she's a lioness. So
she's so cute.
There you go.
She should have her own show.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Or there should be part of your show. We'll tune in to watch the two of you. You're serious and she's falling off the couch.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice balance, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So go ahead.
So this is pretty awesome. I mean, it's not like you're in your 50s with like tons of life experience. I know you're in your young 20s, and with a vision like that at such a young age, that's very inspiring.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Well, while I have to say that I wasn't always like this. I was like 180 degrees different. When I was 20, I was very set in just being mediocre. I didn't feel like I needed to stand out. But when it came to changing my lifestyle, I realized it also had a really big impact on my mindset. I was definitely the kind of person to say, okay, this is my goal. I would start taking steps to it, and then halfway I would quit.
Yeah.
This was the first thing I managed to stick to it and actually achieve it and keep it going.
Right.
So now I'm like thinking, oh, if I lost 20 pounds, something that people really struggle with, why can't I do anything else? What makes other people who achieve my goals that are their goals? No, my goals is shared. Wow, I can't speak. Our shared goals. Why can they achieve it, but I can't?
Right.
When I can do the same thing, there's no difference. We're all people. We're all on the same baseline. Whatever knowledge they have, I can accumulate it at the same pace, if not even faster. So,
Do you know how many people in the United States want to lose 20 pounds?
Oh, everybody, every year, every year.
Millions.
Yeah. Every year people set out, and that's probably the goal. They're not looking to, I mean, there's some people that have to lose a lot of weight or want to lose a lot of weight, but the majority of people, I'd say 10, 20 pounds, that's about where everybody wants to go. And why is it so insurmountable?
And how is it that you've done it? And people will want to will want to learn, like, what is the secret? What is Nadia's secret? How did she lose 20 pounds? And I can't.
Yeah, right. And I'll tell you, the other thing is not just how to lose it, but how to keep it off.
Keep it off.
Yes. Definitely the hardest thing. So many people, when I talk to them, they say, oh, I tried this diet and I lost all this weight. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. I can go back to my regular diet, and they gain it right back. That's when I tell them essentially what just happened to you is you yo-yoed. You lost the weight and you came back up. You lost the weight and you came back up.
Right.
That's why I'm saying when it comes to diet, it's 70% of the battle. It's the diet, and it's a lifestyle. You can't just expect, okay, I'm going to diet for 3 months, lose this weight, and then I'm going to be set for life. It's once you make the change, you get to your goal. Now you have to maintain it. It's like planting a tree. You can't just plant the tree, have it grow, and then expect it to be perfectly fine without you. You still need to continue to nurture it to keep it alive.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you document your journey? Are there like before and after pictures or anything of that sort? Or
yes, I do have before and after photos. I have one that you can really see the difference. It's more of a side profile. You can see that definitely my torso is much more bloated. My arms are more puffy. My face is just much more full. And now I compare it side by side with photos today. I have a lot of before and after videos, both on Instagram and YouTube, where I do showcase this. But that's another great thing. It's a great thing that you brought it up, because I definitely encourage people to take before and after photos. It's something I definitely regret. I wish I took more photos, but I think because I was insecure when I was just getting started about how I looked and how much I weighed, I didn't want the photos. And now I realized that was a mistake. I wish I had more to be able to compare myself to now.
Yeah, right. And give you some attaboys, give you some, wow, look at that. I didn't know I was making that kind of difference. This looks good. I like this. Let's keep going here.
Exactly. Yeah. For sure. And definitely even now. So when I first started working out, I was just doing strength training. I was just going to the gym and lifting weights. And I would say about 4 months ago now, I also started taking up running. So now instead of just being like a typical gym rat, I am more of a hybrid athlete. And from, 6 months ago, my photos till now, again, there's a big difference. It's not that I don't look like I've lost weight. I just look more fit, more slim because of the running and just the general cardio.
So talk about the mental journey here. There's a physical journey. You see your body change, the mindset. Yeah.
Talk about mindset, because I think everything starts with mindset.
Yes, I agree.
Right?
Definitely.
Because I can determine to do anything. I'm gonna for a short while, I'm gonna do something, and hooray, I did it. But if I don't change my mind, it may not last. And then the other thing, I'm hearing you say, and I've seen other people say this too, I didn't expect my whole mindset to change. You suddenly have more confidence. You suddenly think you can do, if I can do this, maybe there's other things I can do. It's changed your outlook on life. You said very casually, I was okay to be mediocre. I was okay to fit in. That was, I felt comfortable in the crowd. Now all of a sudden you want to stand out. Hey, look at me, or stand up and lead. Come on, follow me. That wasn't you said. So it led to some big changes in your life, too. Talk about those.
Yes, of course. So with any sort of life change, especially when it comes to losing weight, you're going to have to expect the way that you think about the world to change as well. Because how the person you were at the beginning of the journey is never the person at the end of the journey. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. So when it comes to mindset, you can't expect it to shift overnight, but you have to think about taking progressive little steps to changing the way you think, because it's never easy to change how we think. That's just how we are as people. We're very prone to habit.
It's not only not easy, I think it's impossible. Somehow your thinking is set for life. It's very difficult to change your outlook. If you're a negative person, to suddenly be a positive person. If you're somebody who blends into the crowd, to suddenly step to the front of the crowd, that's very intimidating for a lot of people.
It's definitely intimidating, but I wouldn't call it impossible, because if you can make one small change in your life and have a tremendous effect, I feel like this can be applied to anything else as well. It's just a matter of training yourself. I think that's the best way to say it. You're training your muscles, but you also have to train your mind. And again, I think the best way to do this is to break it down, make it easy for you to take in. If your goal, let's say it's not even about fitness, your goal is in terms of mindset is to adapt maybe a growth mindset. You want to grow as a person. So then every day you need to think about, how can I become better at what I'm trying to do? And a great way that I would recommend doing this is the night before you want to do your goal, write down 3 things you want to accomplish the next day. I have a little journal I keep on my bedside table. Right before I go to bed, I think, okay, tomorrow, what do I want to get done? I want to create content, and I want to speak to at least one other person about how I can help them. And you do X, Y, and Z. Just plan it out so that the next day you can cross it off. And the dopamine rush, when you're able to cross off that item you had written down the night before, it's a great positive reinforcement to making this change. It's just about training yourself. So I always say that the best way to accomplish your goal is just to break it down. I know I've said it so many times, and I'm probably going to say it a couple more times. You're going to get sick of it. But that's really the way you achieve it. You break it down and you make it digestible.
It's absolutely true. I often tell folks that the results of what we see in our lives is similar to like the fruits on a tree. Right? But the fruits in that tree all started from the roots of the tree. And how that root is developed is really your mindset. What your thoughts are, what your feelings are, what your beliefs are, what your values are, drives the action and the behavior that you take. And those action and behavior leads to your results. So everything starts in the mind. If you think you're successful, you're successful. If you think you're a failure, you're a failure. It's however you think.
Yeah. And the mind, unfortunately, whether it's trying to protect you or whether it's a learned behavior or something, you always telling yourself, no, I can't. Well, not that. That's not me. That's somebody else. I can't. There's and maybe this is my life or something here, but there's always your body and your mind don't always work hand in hand together here. Your body likes feeling better. Your body likes being healthy and stuff. And somewhere in your mind, though, you're saying to yourself, I don't know. I can't do that. Is that me? Or make an excuse. I'll do this one. Excuses. We all come up with a million excuses all the time here. And like we're little kids, we're always just trying to sneak in the extra cookie or telling ourselves immediately, I want something and I can't get it or whatever. Where does that training come from? Why does some of us have that positive, success-oriented outlook, and so many of us have told ourselves another script, and we've accepted that's our life?
Right. I think that so many people in today's society especially have this mentality of learned helplessness. You learn that you can't do it. You think, oh, these people are doing it because they're just born like that. They're just genetically superior. They didn't need to train hard for that. They can just do it. I can't do it though because I'm not them. Right. It's this learned helplessness. And the way that these people you see in the movies or on your social media, the way that they're able to do this because they work hard for it every day. Yeah. And this mindset of learned helplessness, I think, is what's holding back so many people. The moment you even decide that's not me anymore is the moment you're taking the first step through the door to changing your life. And definitely, I think this is something that's pushed by a lot of social media. It's saying you can't do it. It's a lot of being stuck in yourself,
Right.
Helplessness. And the best way to overcome that is to envision yourself being able to do those things. So I saw someone doing a pull up. And so every day for a month, I would go and I would do these little exercises trying to work up to a pull up. And now I've nearly got it. I have to keep pushing off the ground a little bit to give myself a lift, but otherwise I can do a pull up now. And it's this way of thinking, okay, achieve little bit at a time, right, until eventually when you look back and you realize how much you've accomplished, you've overcome that sense of learned helplessness.
Mm-hmm. That's a great phrase. I'm going to remember that when you use it. Learned helplessness. Somewhere along the way, we learn or we tell ourselves that we can't do this. When you're a kid, if you ask my grandson, who's going on 4, if you ask him, "Can you do this?" He says, "Sure," all the time. Hey, you want to go to the park? Sure. Hey, you think you can climb that hill? Sure. You think you can run faster than me? Sure. There is no no in his head, but somewhere along the way, he's going to learn over society. He's going to learn the hard way. Oh no, he can't do that. He can't do this. He can't do this. And so you start telling yourself all these negatives, all these no's start piling up. If you ask a kid, can they go to the moon? Sure. If you ask an adult, they go, no, you can't go to the moon.
I call that mind frick.
Yeah,
like your mind is fricking with you, and and we have those mind fricks every day, and we think that it's true. What our mind is telling us true, exactly. Because it's a learned belief, and it all starts with a part of your brain called the amygdala.
Okay.
And that part of the brain takes in all the data from life and it filters it through the values, the beliefs that you've been taught since a child. Whether that value and belief is true or not, it doesn't matter. Because to you, it's true.
Right.
But oftentimes these values and beliefs that we've learned from our experiences hamper us from moving forward, whether it's losing weight, getting healthy. The amygdala often is a site for the brain to protect itself. Mm-hmm. It's where fight or flight, right, occurs. You either run from it or you fight from it, and the brain overcompensates by. The brain doesn't look for success; it looks for fear of failure. It looks for, is this going to hurt me? Am I going to be hurt from this physically, mentally, emotionally? And that's the primary protection of the brain. And when people fear moving forward, they never move forward to lose weight, to do this, to do that. And that's the mind frick that comes up that tells you all that false beliefs. So sometimes it's good to acknowledge that, is what I'm believing true, right? Is it the fact? It's kind of like being in the Matrix, right? You got to step outside of the Matrix to see yourself in it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people talk about this for a second. I've known people in my life who've had a real weight problem. They're 100 pounds overweight. They're 200 pounds overweight or whatever. And at some point they say enough, because it's not just how it looks, it's how it feels. It's hard on my heart. It's hard to breathe. It's hard to move. It's hard to do all these things here. And so they, we've seen them on TV shows and stuff, and they take this task, or maybe they try and take a shortcut. They get a intestinal bypass, and so I can't stop eating, so I'm gonna cut off my ability to absorb food here and everything here. They take some extreme measure, and so many of them, within a year, even with a gastro bypass, gain the weight back again. And it's almost like that becomes, I hate to put it this way, but that was a crutch. My life isn't successful because I'm overweight. And now I lost the weight and I'm still not successful in my mind. I'm still not in a relationship. I'm still not the perfect person I thought it was. I thought that was the problem. And now I can't blame that problem anymore. I have to look deeper into myself. So it's almost like they retreat back to that place of comfort. So many people are comfortable. You know, there's a famous story somebody told me a long time ago. This is like down south. A guy was going door to door selling something. He walks up and somebody's sitting on their porch. Oh, excuse me. And he is slowly rocking. And there's a dog next to him. The dog is whining, crying. And he walks up and he says, "Why is your dog crying?" He says, "Oh, he's sitting on a nail." "He's sitting on a nail. Why doesn't he get up?" He said, "It doesn't hurt that bad." If things don't hurt that bad, we're almost comfortable with the pain. That's a comfortable space to stay there. We understand that. We know that. That's the way it's always been. That's the way I am. Things don't work out. Whatever. There's an acceptance of pain, and when you take it away, sometimes people find that uncomfortable. I don't know if any of that ringing a bell here, but there's something about change that is frightening, even if it's a positive change.
Yeah.
Sure. I feel like something that a lot of people don't realize is that our mind is more prone to quitting before our body is. Our bodies can be pushed so much further. There are incredible things our bodies can do, but our brain is what's holding us back. Our mentality, like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm exhausted. I can't do it anymore.
Right.
But when you think just a little bit further, and then your brain is again, okay, now we're done. But you think, okay, just a little bit further. The things you can accomplish are just huge. I realized this myself when I was losing the weight. I said, okay, can I lose 5 more? And I lost 5 more. I'm like, okay, what else can I do? And now I've lost that weight. And then just the other day, I went for a long run on Halloween. And I thought, okay, typically my long runs are 11 miles.
Wow.
Today, I want to see if I can do 15. That's more than a half marathon. Let's see if I can do it. And once I hit mile 13, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like my feet hurt. I'm just exhausted. I'm tired. It's getting hot. I want to just walk. But I just reminded myself the mind is going to quit before the body does. The human body was designed to do these incredible things, thinking back to our ancestry, what we had to do in the wild to survive. And I thought, I can run 2 more miles. I can do this. And I was able to run the entire 15 miles. And that was just incredible for me. And now I look back, when I started running 3-4 months ago, I couldn't even run a mile. And now I'm saying, oh, yesterday I ran 15 miles. Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just mind blowing. I'm saying what you can accomplish by realizing if you can conquer your mind and your mindset, anything is achievable.
So I'll give you an example of that. We did a short series podcast recently for a book that came out, and it's about ultra running. Have you ever heard of this, Dr. Trin? There are people who are ultra runners. Ultra runners go 100 miles in 24 hours. They give themselves 24 hours in a race, and it's not in a flat thing. It's over a mountain usually. It's up in the wilderness somewhere here. So it's going up and gravel roads and everything. It's a difficult path. It's really what native tribes do in Mexico and in Africa and stuff, running from peak to peak kind of thing, you know. And I was just flabbergasted. I said, the body can't go 100 miles. It's impossible. And they're like, and these aren't like super, you know, whatever, worked out, buffed up people or something. They're pretty normal, average people. Some of them are in their 50s and 60s and 70s and whatnot here. And they said, it's really just what you said. It's pushing through what you think is possible. Yes, you have to be careful and you have to train and you can't just do this tomorrow, but it's doable. Your body can go 100 miles.
Yeah. I've had patients who organize these ultra runs.
Really? Yeah.
Then 100 miles, what they do. It's crazy. But
100 miles. I mean, so you're saying, can I go 2 more miles? They're saying, can I go 20 more miles? Can I go 50 more miles? miles. I mean, it's mind-boggling when you break through that barrier and realize how far you can push these things. It's
For
amazing.
sure, especially when you look at the endurance sports. With I think out of all the sports, the most difficult has to be running because it's not just physical; it is so mental.
Yes.
Especially since it isn't a sport like basketball or football, where if you're in a tough spot, you can toss the ball and have a teammate support.
Right. Right.
It's
You run
you're
for a while.
it's like it's all me. I have to push myself to do this, and I actually do have a friend, and he did complete an ultra marathon, and I think his time was sub 24 hours. I think it took him 21 hours to run the 100 miles. And when he was telling me about his experience, I'm like, that's crazy. I didn't even think like the human body could do that. But
I've told people about this podcast, and they think I'm pulling their leg. My son-in-law, he said, "There's no way. I mean, that's just impossible. Can you run 500 miles? Can you run 1,000 miles?" And I don't know. But they're running regularly around the country, these 100 miles races. And some of them are talking about trying to take it further, 200-mile races or something here.
I've heard of the 200-mile ultra marathons. I see them. I think one of them, oh, there was this one lady, she said that she was like doing a 200-mile race. She was on social media. And at some point, like her body was giving her like hallucinations and just anything you could to get her to stop. But she completed it. It was just such a wild story for me to hear. Like she was explaining at every point what she was experiencing.
Yeah.
But these ultra marathoners, I think they're going to have the strongest mindset of maybe any athlete out there.
Yeah, because maybe they are pushing it beyond the bounds of what the warranty gives you on the you're going into the I don't know what how far can the body go, Dr. TRINH? Can the body go 1,000 miles? Can the body go 100 miles? Do we know what the outer limits of the endurance are?
We don't know because we've always been limited by our mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, so it's amazing to me.
And more important, it seems like, Nadia, than physical fitness, equally important is that mindset training for folks.
Yes.
Because that's what's limiting them from achieving their physical fitness goal.
I think that's it. It's not just pushing your body and it hurts. It's not just groaning and saying, okay, I'm going to make this a habit and get up to do it. It's something telling yourself that you can do it. Not that you can't do it. Getting rid of all the no's and saying yes.
You should. And I think it does become substantially easier once you accomplish the first thing. I noticed when I accomplished my first goal, let's say of hitting 10 pounds, then after that, it was just so much easier to keep on that track. It's people being afraid to accomplish even that first goal because their mindset holds them back. But if they can just really push through the difficulties of getting to that first goal and realizing that, oh my gosh, look what I did. I did it. I accomplished it. Right. What else can I do? Then you become excited to push these boundaries that you have set upon yourself.
Right. Well, I'm excited to hear more about this. We're going to have to cut it a little shorter today here because I got another show in 10 minutes here, so I got to get ready for that one here. Give us some websites, give us some places to go to follow your journey, and maybe we'll get inspired and follow along, and maybe you'll become the leader of the pack and not just living in the middle of the pack like you said you did for so long here.
Yes, exactly. So like I mentioned, I'm on Instagram and YouTube. Those are my two largest platforms to see basically all the content I have on my Instagram, as well as longer form content. I do have a couple of things in the works right now for my YouTube. That's the best place to see my content. It's going to be Nadia. And again, my last name, Saadatmandi. Just search that in YouTube and I'll pop up. And my last name, super long, 11 letters. But if you type in SAAD, I should pop right up.
Okay. Well, I am going to go check it out. I think others should too, because it's an amazing tale. And I think there's something about this world of influencers that we're suddenly, if they can do it, I can do it. This notion that others are influencing me, people I don't even know, but I'm watching their journey. It isn't just they stand up and said, here's how to do it. And I say, yeah, you can do it, but I can't. I watch them transform themselves. And then I say, if they can do it, I can do it. And I think that's what one turns into a tribe. One turns into a whole community of people here doing this. Yeah, a movement. Because it really is about movement. It's about getting off your butt and getting out there. All right. Thank you so much, Nadia, for coming on here. Dr. TRINH, take us out here.
Keep up the great work, Nadia. I'm certainly one of your followers, and so I know Lizzie is, and there are many others out there. So we'll get the word out on Nadia.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Take
Thanks
care,
so
guys.
much. All right.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. One more reason to tune in each and every time as we give you examples like today of people who can make a change. One conversation, one step at a time. Right here on Health Talks with Dr. TRINH, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.